Hi friends, welcome back to the channel, Junior with a Classic Volkswagens. Today I'm going to share with you how I fix my heater box flange connections as well as how I fix my exhaust connections, installation of the heater boxes, and finally show you my brand new GT exhaust.
This is the flange where the heat exchangers, or as everybody knows them in the community, the heater boxes actually connect to. So when I went to install them today, I found myself with an issue because at some point somebody retapped these to 12 and had a step stud installed from 10 millimeters to 12 millimeters. So this threads right here are actually 12 millimeter. So, I said, okay, that's probably, pretty strong. So that's really gonna hold. However, when I went to install the heat exchanger, the flange hole was not going through here. So this is thicker than the hole. So the other option I thought about was, okay, maybe I can go ahead and open those holes a little bit, so that it will line up here. But then I found myself with another issue. The gasket, when I tried to install it here, at first it tried to go in, but then it ended up actually breaking because the holes in the gaskets are actually 8 millimeter. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this stud right here. Even if I was to drill the hole out a little bit, then I would probably have to make these gasket here at home, which not a big issue. I could have done that. But honestly, I was not in the mood to do that. Ain't nobody got time for that. I ordered a helicoil insert to go from 12 down to 8 millimeters by 1.25. So that's pretty much what's happening here. I have a very similar situation in the back end of the engine that I will actually show you here in a minute. So the way I'm going to actually remove this here is I'm going to double nut that. Okay, so I went ahead and double nutted it. Earlier today, I sprayed some PB Blaster, so it has been sitting there for quite some time. So remember, ratty tatty, lefty loosey. So notice how that actually broke loose very easily. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that easily. When you have bolts like this or studs like this that they have been sitting like that for a long time, the smartest thing to do is to just be patient. Blast it with some penetrating oil like WD-40 or PB Blaster. And if worst comes to worst and you see that it's giving you some resistance, get yourself a little torch, heat it up, and then do exactly almost like I'm doing right now. Sorry about the movement. I'm holding the phone with one hand and using one hand to break this loose. It's hard to get a camera down here, so I'm using my camera from my phone to record this section right here. But it's coming out pretty fairly easy, so that's not going to be a trouble, I guess. And I'll show you sometime in this video what was the insert that I bought. I was actually looking specifically for 12, actually 8, step down to 8. But I couldn't find them. I did a lot of search and I really didn't want to waste too much time with that. So I'm actually going with the insert, and then I'll just put a regular 8mm stud, as it should be. Okay, so we got that one out now. And we'll just repeat the same steps for the other side over here. Oh man, it's so crusty and rusty down here. I can't wait to get this transmission down, transaxles out, and engine out, and get started with the rust treatment process in here. All right, so let's get out of here. From the looks of this here, I can tell you that we may have a leak from the rear seal between the transmission and the engine. Okay, and this is the rod for the thermostat. Unfortunately for me, the other day when I was working with this here, I went to get this guy out, and the bottom stud of the thermostat actually broke. So I want to figure out the way to get it out without damaging the thermostat. Okay, let's get out. All right, so right there, I had a pretty similar situation. This should be 8mm. These should be 8mm, but they went ahead and tapped those for some odd reason to number 10. And I tried my my exhaust in here, and it didn't want to fit. And I really didn't want to drill out those flanges, because as they are, they don't have too much meat in them, you know, or I should say body. So I actually ordered for here a step stud from 8mm to 10mm, and that should work fine. What I'll do, I'll get my tap and run it through there to clean those, so to make sure that when I put the new one, it runs in there smooth. I'll put some Loctite in it. That's pretty much it. But you know, overall, this is beginning to look much better. I have a feeling that this engine is actually good for some reason. I don't know. I got my my oil bath filter. So for now, like I said before, I think in an earlier video, I got an aftermarket filter right there to make sure that nothing goes in there. Anyway, lots of work to do, guys. Lots of work to do. But it's looking like an engine. I like the patina look on this here, but this cancer has to go. We gotta cut that out. And I know that my wife, she doesn't like the patina look, so I'll probably end up painting it, all of it. You know the saying, happy wife, happy life. These studs right here that are 10mm to 8, these are going to be installed here. And then I bought these inserts that they look like this. These are 12mm by 8. So I'm gonna put these in the back. And that's going to be the job that we're going to be doing today. But first we're going to clean this surface. Okay, so I'm gonna try using this die grinder with a small bristle wires.
made out of stainless steel, making sure I don't apply too much pressure to it. That looks so much better. There is a little bit of a nick right there, but I don't think that that's gonna hurt. It was already there, but that looks so much better. So much better. So now we repeat the same steps on the other side and get it done. So prior to me acquiring this vehicle, this engine here that came with it, somebody had previously decided to tap these from number 8 to number 10. I'm not sure what was the reason behind it. Maybe they had an issue with the old studs and they replaced them and they went to a bigger size. Not sure what was the case, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a number 10 tap set to run through the treads just to clear them up a little bit. And let's put this here so we don't drop that stuff in the floor. Okay, so that's it right there. So we got that one. We can always use a little bit of PB Blaster. Clean that. We're going to do the same with this one right here. Okay. I think that should be fine. Awesome. And now we just repeat the same process on the other side. We install one. Basically you double nut it with 2 nuts, and then I put some red Loctite, and then now I'll repeat the process for all 4.
Yep.
Okay, so in this next clip, what you are watching, it's me under the bus. I come to find that the former owner, when he tapped the flange, he did not use the metric system. So I am going to have to retap these to 12 because the inserts are 12 millimeters and they are not treading in. The next thing that I was thinking about it when I was doing this job here was that this would have been a much easier job if I just had dropped the engine down to the floor, which was my first thought. But then I thought, I said, let me go ahead and challenge myself. Use the cripple cart and get under the bus to show others out there that sometimes in the worst scenario, if you have the time and patience and you don't have the space, you are limited in space, you can still get the job done, if you fiddle with it and you have the patience. So think about that. From time to time, you may not have the availability to get things done in the most proper way, but the job can still get done.
Okay. Okay, tough cookie. Okay, that's it right there. Okay, see if I can use this T-handle here, at least to get it started.
You know, I wonder if I can do this with the drill just like I did the other ones behind the engine. I don't know. I'll give it a try. Let's see how far I can get with this T-handle. So this one, I got it done with the tap, and then I had to swap from the T-handle to a very small crescent wrench because I didn't have a lot of room to use the T-handle. But once I finish this one, I'm going to switch to the drill. I think that the drill is going to be a better option to do the top one.
And so I already installed one of the inserts right there, and now I'm installing the second one. Basically, you take the insert, you put it on a 8 millimeter bolt, and then you double nut it. You want to go in until the flat end of the insert is flush with the flange. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get out. So basically, again, you just put the insert into a 8 millimeter stud, and you keep on going until it's flush with the end. And I'm gonna have to let my phone go for a minute because I can't thread it with just one hand and hold the camera at the same time. All right, friends, so take a look at it right there. You see? That's pretty flat right there, and that right there. Probably I could have just gone in with this one a little bit more. Maybe I'll just do that real quick, just to make sure it's all the way in, just like that one right there. Next, what I'm gonna do, a test fit. I'm gonna install a gasket, and I'm going to install the heater boxes to see, you know, how is the alignment. If everything works out, then I'm gonna come back and take these out. I'm gonna put some red Loctite at the end, put those back in there, let them dry, and then I'll come back and install the heater box. Installation of these is pretty simple. There is a flange right there, and you connect this flange to these two 8 mil studs, and that's pretty much it. There it is. I have the exhaust installed. This is the GT type. One of the things that I don't like is the fact that I don't have the additional section here to install the heater hoses to go to the fan shroud, and I am missing the tins in the bottom, which I will have to order. And as it sits right now, I think that this motor is ready for me to try to give it a start to see if it runs or not.
Alright friends, so that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed the contents. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, this is Junior with Classic VW Bug. Junior out.